What's up guys, Cosmo Moon here, and this is just going to be a real quick little video. Okay, so Captain Marvel, and that's pretty much what I gotta say right there. So we're just going to look at this one article, just one article, which I'm not going to be biased about. I'm not really going to be you know what I mean? I don't want to be like, okay, anyways, jumping into it. So it says Captain Marvel breaks Batman vs Superman box office record. Immediately, I understand what's happening here. They're trying to push the movie. They're trying to make a point. I'm kind of focused then. And they're really just trying to get a clickbait title. So I understand that. I try to do that. I don't really succeed, although they are, because here I am, clicked on their article. But right off the bat, that's what it says. And you scroll down and it says, Marvel's Captain Marvel is ready for its big opening weekend in theaters, and it's going to be a record-setting opening right from the start. Really clickbaity title, because the reason how it broke a record is it's being shown in more theaters on the opening weekend than any other superhero movie, specifically in the month of March. So they're saying specifically in the month of March it's showing in more theaters than it used to be. And one, that's likely because it is a big movie, regardless of any discrepancies, whether you like Brie Larson, whether you don't like her, whether you hate her, regardless of any of it. Every Marvel movie is a big movie. Every Marvel movie, generally speaking, is pushing to be bigger and better and make bigger numbers and make more money. Every single movie. Two, businesses are booming. Okay, more and more theaters are opening. I know people act like no one goes to the theaters. If you show up at the theaters after a movie like this drops, it will be packed. People pre-order. It'll be sold out. They thrive. They're still doing good. Second, third, because that was second. Third of all, how are you gonna push for breaking a record specifically in the month of March? That's so they're just trying to push for it and act like it. And I guess right off the bat it's made between 20 and 24 million for your opening day, which is great. But right off the bat also, for instance, with Batman vs Superman, it had a really big opening day because of how much advertising. If you guys are on social media, my whole Facebook is Captain Marvel ads. Every single ad is Captain Marvel ad. If I'm on Instagram, every single ad is the Captain Marvel ad. I'm on YouTube, I see Captain Marvel ads every day. They're heavily pushing this and advertising this. So of course people are going to show interest and they're going to show up, just like they had a really big attendance showing up for Superman vs Batman. Right after that, it just heavily dropped because word of mouth came around that it actually wasn't that good. People came because of the advertising, because there's really good advertising, and they told everybody else that it wasn't that great, and not as many people came because they didn't enjoy the movie. I genuinely have no idea how it's going to turn out. I also genuinely, I don't really care. Some points of Brie Larson's argument I understand, and I have no problem with it. She wants to show that women can be equal to male. If they want to do that, more power to them. She was saying at one point, and this is an old clip, saying like, hey, I don't need some 40-year-old white guy tell me what didn't work for him in A Wrinkle in Time. One, though, it's kind of a bad example because it's a really crappy movie. Two, it's not a big deal that she said that, because just like, for instance, 50 Shades of Grey, that's a chick flick, and they don't want to know what we have to say about it. It wasn't designed for us. But generally speaking, superhero movies are designed towards men, but Captain Marvel is a massive character in the MCU, which means it's just an opportunity to make more money. That's what I really genuinely I would like to think, say, and hope that they're really just doing it for the money. I understand they probably have some social aspect, and I've heard that she said that it's supposed to be a feminist movie, and I get that they may be trying to push politics, but I genuinely think that, and I hope that Marvel was like, hey, this is a really big movie, She plays a vital character. If we push it, the movie's going to be big. A lot of people are going to watch it. But if we push it towards women too, that just means more money, okay? But then there are people saying that Brie Larson was saying that it was supposed to be a feminist movie, and people are talking about all heated about everything she said about not wanting white middle-aged men, blah blah blah, the overwhelmingly in her things. I genuinely don't think she has a problem with them. I just think she wants diversity and she wants it to be fair, but we don't know this because it's just your perspective, and it's just completely relying upon your perspective, and that's the whole problem with this situation. Because she's saying, hey, if you go to a press conference, it's just a bunch of white dudes. But we don't know is, okay, how many of these people, like these critics, what percentage of critics are actually female? And then, okay, are they only this low of a percentage because if they're women they don't do good, or is it because women genuinely don't have a large interest in being movie critics? Or then they say a really small minority are mixed. Okay, well, how many mixed women or mixed men are wanting to be these critics? It's just we don't have this information. It's kind of like the whole people going back and forth between Caucasian and African American and jails for the longest time. People are just throwing stuff around saying, hey, if you do this and this, they're like, oh, whites got it so good and African Americans have it so bad. And of course the whites, we fight with it, but then numbers come out to prove, say, hey, statistically speaking, they make up for like 20-something% of the population. They make up for like 20-30% of our crime, but they make up 50% of our jails. That's a real number. You can't argue with that. You can't argue with the statistic. I wish with this, since they're trying to push this ideal, like these ideals, these ideas, whatever you want to call it, I just genuinely wish that they would have used some form of statistic. But of course, again, it's a press conference. You really can't expect her to have done all this intense research for her to just off the fly say that she just wants more diversity. But, and then again, you have other people saying that she doesn't care. And I've read articles saying that she said it was supposed to be a feminist movie, and it was supposed to be this and this and this. But again, I have read that in a lot of articles, but I haven't heard the actual audio of this being said, and I haven't seen any proof of that. So I gotta have a little bit of mercy on her, because we genuinely don't know. I wish they would just have like a full-blown press conference, just a small press conference to talk about it, but they're not going to, because it's just going to cause more controversy. So what they're trying to do is sweep it up under the rug. That kind of startled me. My laundry's done. That genuinely startled me, and my phone vibrated at the same time. But you get these mixed opinions, right? Are they trying to slide it underneath the rug because they don't want people to talk about it? Or do they realize they made a mistake, and if they talk about it, they just think they'll bring more attention to it and bring attention to it to people that didn't know about it yet? Or do they just not care? Do they not want the drama anymore? We just don't know. And genuinely speaking and truthfully speaking, I don't think we're going to know. I really don't think they're going to go straight out there, you know what I mean? Just be forward with it and talk about it. She might not say too much more. Just all you know is that it's a superhero movie. She plays a big part. She is a feminist, and she wants women to be empowered, and she wants women to feel empowered, similarly to how Black Panther wanted African Americans to feel empowered, and just show, hey, if you want to do this and you set your mind to it, you can do it regardless of your gender or your skin color. And if that is genuinely what they are going for, and they just messed up and they didn't do it the right way, they didn't go about it the right way, then more power to them. And if they're genuinely just about separating fans and causing division and just trying to prove that women are better than men and that they don't like men and men shaming, then I'm not a fan of that, and I really don't think it's appropriate. I just think we just fuss too much. We as human beings fuss with each other so much over the dumbest situations. At the end of the day, we have these genders, we have male and female, okay, and we coexist, and we have to coexist. We need each other to reproduce. Since the beginning of time, it was always devised for us to be with each other. We have this natural attraction to each other, and you have these relationships. And even in the movie, her and Samuel Jackson, they aren't intimate even in the film, but it's a friendship. So I don't think she has something necessarily just against white men only, because she's Caucasian as well. You know what I'm saying? I just think the whole thing's kind of a mess. I think it's there's some misconception. Things are being twisted. Things are being blown out of proportion, and nobody else on the Marvel side, the Marvel side, is doing anything to clarify it. So the internet is doing what it does best. It's going rampant, and it's like a little wildfire. Same with the Rotten Tomatoes stuff. There are people that haven't watched the film yet, and I know they haven't watched the film yet, and they are just bombing it with terrible reviews. There probably are people that watched it and give it bad reviews, but it does have it genuinely has record-setting bad reviews within 12 hours of the film being released. More reviews than, let's say, I think it's almost more reviews than Infinity Wars has overall, to this exact point. Like, you could go on and still give it reviews, and only has a couple hundred or 1,000 or 2,000 more reviews than all of the ones for Captain Marvel within 12 hours at that time. And that's trolls. It genuinely is trolls. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because they're going to make their money, and we're either going to like it or we're not going to like it, and we're just going to have to get over it. So this kind of turned into a longer video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I'm talking a little bit more quiet, not getting as into things, but I was doing good with making eye contact, and the wife is in there sleeping, and I'm in the kitchen, so I'm literally just right across. So hope you guys have a good night. Can't speak, and I'll see you guys later.